Welcome to Armenia's experience with repatriation. Article by Gohar Abrahamyan, published on September 12, 2024, on EVN Report. Every administration in Armenia since independence has implemented initiatives and policies aimed at encouraging the repatriation of ethnic Armenians to Armenia. The repatriation of people of the same nationality is generally at the forefront of any government's immigration policy. Article 13 of the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights names the right of return as a fundamental human right. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, defines return migration or repatriation as the return of the migrant from their current place of residence to their previous place of residence, or their country of origin. In Armenia's case, the word return, or repatriation, can generally be confusing, since it is not always that those repatriating to Armenia are from Armenia. The term, however, in this context, has come to include the migration of ethnic Armenians to the Republic of Armenia. Nearly twice as many Armenians live outside Armenia as within its borders. The Armenian diaspora, shaped over centuries by episodes of persecution, forced displacement, genocide, economic hardship following the Soviet Union's collapse, and war, is often categorized into two broad groups: the old or traditional diaspora and the new or contemporary diaspora. The traditional diaspora consists of the descendants of Armenian genocide survivors, who either joined existing Armenian communities abroad or established new ones. The contemporary diaspora, by contrast, largely comprises migrants who left Armenia in the 1990s. These two diasporas are notably different in their connection to and perception of the homeland, holding distinct cultural values and varying degrees of self-organization. Armenia has always had a developing relationship with its diasporas, interchangeably prioritizing national preservation, harvesting diaspora potential, and encouraging repatriation, voluntary as well as forced. Armenia's experience with repatriation has its own history and has come in different waves. In 1918, right after the declaration of the First Republic, the Armenian government declared the Republic of Armenia home to all Armenians. According to some records, several 100,000, up to 500,000 genocide survivors, who were left to face the decision of either continuing to live under Turkish rule or flee, moved to the newly founded republic. In the 1920s, following the establishment of Soviet rule in Armenia, the government called on all exiled Armenians to immigrate. Between 1921–1936, more than 42,000 Armenians returned to Soviet Armenia. The third, largest phase, known as the Great Repatriation, was after the end of World War II, when close to 90,000 Armenians between 1946–1948 repatriated from around the world. This was followed by the fourth and final phase of repatriation to Soviet Armenia, when between 1960–1980, close to 32,000 Armenians moved to Armenia. Between 1988–1991, right before and during the First Nagorno-Karabakh War, 360,000 Armenians were forced out of Azerbaijan and moved to Armenia. The sixth phase started with Armenia's independence and is ongoing. In this period, legal regulations created favorable conditions for those who want to live in the homeland. The law on the legal status of foreign citizens, also known as the 10-year residence permit, was adopted in 1994. It granted a special status to ethnic Armenians with almost equal rights as a citizen, except for the right to vote and the duty to serve in the armed forces. In 2008, an amendment to the law on citizenship, more commonly known as the Dual Citizenship Law, allowed ethnic Armenians who are citizens of other countries to also acquire Armenian citizenship. The Ministry of Diaspora, established in 2008, included repatriation among its key responsibilities, with dedicated departments and programs supporting this goal. The Diaspora Ministry was dissolved in 2018 and replaced with the Office of the Diaspora Commissioner, which continues to prioritize repatriation in its initiatives. In the summer of 2023, the Repatriation and Integration Center was inaugurated to further promote repatriation, streamline the process, and support the smooth integration of diaspora Armenians into life in the homeland. The center provides individual consultations, seminars, and classes for current and prospective repatriates. Additionally, the government enacted a decision exempting repatriates from taxes when shipping their personal belongings to Armenia. Repatriation, curbing outmigration, and increasing birth rates were key elements of the roadmap to double Armenia's population by 2038. This goal was outlined in the My Step Alliance's 2018 parliamentary election program and reaffirmed in the government program of the ruling Civic Contract Party after the 2021 snap elections. Hovhannes Alexanyan, head of the Strategy Development Department at the Office of the High Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs, notes that repatriation is important for many countries. Through the process of repatriation, it is possible to improve the demographic situation, facilitate progress by tapping into the potential of compatriots, and address security, economic, and investment issues, he says, adding that all of the initiatives of the Office of the Commissioner have a repatriation component. Alexanyan notes that repatriates face all the same challenges as those already living in Armenia, but in addition, they must navigate the complexities of relocation, paperwork, securing employment, and other logistical hurdles. This is where the Office of the Diaspora Commissioner steps in to provide assistance. Alexanyan also emphasizes that, fortunately, the government is not working alone in this effort. Many partner organizations contribute to the mission like Repat Armenia, Move to Armenia, and others that also offer programs designed for repatriates. We are witnessing a shift in both public and government attitudes toward repatriation, and over time, the funding for these programs will increase, supported by the development of necessary infrastructure and a more experienced, skilled staff to better handle larger inflows, says Alexanyan. He adds that all the prerequisites must be in place to attract new ideas, technologies, and businesses to Armenia. Alexanyan also highlights that while Armenia has experienced significant waves of emigration since independence, recent years have seen a steady rise in applications for Armenian citizenship from ethnic Armenians in 45 different countries, a positive sign, in his view. According to the Migration and Citizenship Service of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the number of people applying for Armenian citizenship has fluctuated over the years. 10,189 in 2015, 7,229 in 2016, 10,040 in 2017, 12,449 in 2018, 14,900 in 2019, and 7,869 in 2020. In 2021, 8,591 ethnic Armenians applied, followed by a sharp rise to 25,515 in 2022 and 19,185 in 2023. As of August 31, 2024, Armenia has received 14,232 applications. Wars and unrest in countries with large Armenian communities also contributed to the voluntary and sometimes even reluctant decision of ethnic Armenians to repatriate. Key events include the 2003 Iraq invasion, the 2011 unrest in Egypt, the Syrian civil war, and the conflicts in Ukraine in 2014 and 2022. The ongoing Russian-Ukrainian war, beginning in February 2022, triggered the largest migration of ethnic Armenians to Armenia in the past 20 years. Alexanyan agrees the increase in the number of applications is also due to the geopolitical situation, but he notes that countries that have been successful with repatriation have benefited from such situations. He adds that during both the Russian-Ukrainian and Israeli-Palestinian wars, the state tried to assist those who wanted to come to Armenia. Many often expect the government to also provide housing, but unfortunately, Armenia does not have the resources for that yet. However, there are mortgage and credit programs that are available to repatriates, says Alexanyan. And despite the initiative and the programs, a legislative initiative to regulate the process has been on hold. Back in 2011, the draft law approved by the previous administration never made it to the National Assembly. However, Alexanyan says that a new bill is currently being developed, which, while not expected to directly stimulate repatriation, will provide much-needed clarity. It will define who qualifies as a repatriate, outline the integration package, assign responsibility for its implementation, and serve as the legal framework for addressing many related issues. I think there is no alternative to organizing and promoting repatriation, because a vast portion of our human and financial resources, also knowledge, are outside of Armenia. And we need to use those resources to benefit Armenia to the best possible extent, says Abrahamyan. A significant number of ethnic Armenians continue to choose Armenia as their new home. According to a 2014 study by Armenia, many are drawn by business and investment opportunities, the desire to raise their children in an Armenian cultural environment, and a sense of patriotic duty. Factors such as the country's overall safety, low crime rates, and the assurance that children will grow up connected to their heritage, regardless of parental effort, were cited as key reasons for relocation. Despite the study being nearly a decade old, these motivations remain relevant, even in the face of Armenia's new security challenges,